There are books that tell stories, and then there is the Necronomicon, a text so feared, so forbidden, that even speaking its name is said to summon shadows in the corners of your mind. Written by a madman in the deserts of a world long forgotten, its pages are said to contain knowledge no human was meant to possess, names of ancient gods, rituals that tear open the veil between worlds, and secrets that drive the sanest minds into madness. Tonight, we step into the darkness and explore the truth behind the legend. But be warned, curiosity comes at a price, and some knowledge refuses to stay buried. The story of the Necronomicon begins with a name whispered like a curse: Abdul Alhazred, the so-called Mad Arab. According to legend, he wandered the barren deserts of the 8th century, vanishing for years into places no one dared to tread, abandoned ruins where even the wind seemed afraid to blow. When he finally returned, he carried with him a manuscript filled with words that no sane mind could have written. Some say he learned them from beings that existed long before humanity. Others insist he carved the symbols into his own flesh during trance-like states, claiming they were dictated by voices from beyond the stars. The manuscript, which later became known as the Necronomicon, was said to contain the hidden names of ancient gods and instructions to call them back to our world. Even those who doubt the book's reality admit that the legend itself has an unsettling persistence, as if the idea of the Necronomicon is a shadow cast by something older and darker than history. The Necronomicon is not just a book, it is a doorway, a lure for those who crave knowledge that should never be known. Legends say that anyone who dares to read even a single line risks losing their mind, plagued by nightmares that bleed into reality. Scholars who have claimed to study it report seeing shapes in the corner of their vision that vanish when looked at directly, hearing whispers that speak in languages long dead, and feeling an icy presence lurking just beyond the walls of their room. Some accounts tell of people disappearing entirely, leaving behind only a journal filled with mad scrawls and incomprehensible symbols. The curse is said to persist through the pages themselves. Even a fragment or a single line can carry the weight of unspeakable horrors. The more one tries to understand, the more the knowledge twists, until the reader can no longer distinguish the living world from the dark dimensions hinted at within the book. It is a text that promises power, but exacts a price far higher than any mortal should pay. Throughout history, whispers have persisted that the Necronomicon is more than words on parchment, it is a manual for summoning the unimaginable. Secretive cults and shadowy sects are rumored to have used its pages to call entities from beyond the stars, beings older than time itself, whose presence bends reality and warps the mind. The rituals are said to require impossible sacrifices, precise chants in alien tongues, and symbols etched in circles of fire or blood. Witnesses, or those who claim to have glimpsed such ceremonies, speak of rooms trembling without wind, shadows moving independently, and a chill that seeps into the soul. Some who attempt these rites report hearing ancient laughter, echoing from nowhere, while others vanish without a trace, leaving behind only the faint smell of sulfur and a lingering sense that something still watches from the darkness. To touch the Necronomicon is not merely to read, it is to invite forces that do not forgive curiosity, and the longer one gazes into its pages, the more it gazes back. The Necronomicon has a history as shadowy and fleeting as the horrors it describes. Ancient libraries, hidden monasteries, and private collections are said to have held copies, sometimes complete, sometimes mere fragments, but one by one, these texts vanished without explanation. Some were stolen in the dead of night, leaving rooms untouched but for a single black feather or a circle of strange ash on the floor. Others disappeared under the hands of scholars and collectors who, months later, were found wandering the streets in a trance, muttering forbidden names and symbols no living human should speak. There are rumors that certain governments and secret societies keep fragments locked away, hidden in vaults far beneath the earth, fearing the power of what lies within. Yet, even in hiding, the book seems to draw attention to itself, resurfacing when it is least expected, as if it has a will of its own, hungry, patient, and eternally waiting for someone bold enough or foolish enough to read it again. The Necronomicon has long occupied a strange space between fiction and fear, a name whispered in horror novels, films, games, and music. H.P. Lovecraft may have invented it, but over the decades, the book has grown a life of its own, appearing in stories as a tool of ultimate power, a harbinger of madness, or a gateway to realms no human was meant to enter. This cultural presence makes it difficult to separate imagination from reality, and perhaps that is exactly the point. Some occultists insist that even these fictional portrayals carry a fragment of truth, that the more the world talks about the Necronomicon, the more it feeds on attention, subtly tugging at the edges of reality. Collectors and thrill-seekers have reported strange occurrences after interacting with these pop culture versions, books that weren't the real Necronomicon, yet seemed to hum with a presence, leaving those who touched them with cold shivers that refused to fade and dreams of impossible geometries and alien skies. Some claim that watching a movie or reading a story about the Necronomicon can stir dormant forces, as if the world itself recognizes the names and symbols and responds. The line between entertainment and invocation blurs, leaving a lingering question. If the stories are fiction, why do so many experience real fear, real nightmares, and real danger after encountering them? The unsettling truth may be that the Necronomicon does not care whether you believe in it. It exists in the shadows of human curiosity, feeding on obsession, fascination, and fear, waiting for someone daring or foolish enough to give it more than just their attention. The more it is spoken of, imagined, or recreated, the more it becomes a mirror to our own darkest instincts, reflecting a reality we were never meant to see. Perhaps it is not merely a book, but a test, a whisper in the dark asking, "Do you dare to look closer?" And for those who do, some say, the world is never quite the same again. Whether the Necronomicon is real, or merely a story that has grown teeth over time, one thing is clear: it continues to haunt us. From whispers in ancient libraries to chilling accounts in popular culture, it seems to linger just beyond the veil of our reality, feeding on fear, fascination, and obsession. Some say it waits patiently, watching for the next mind daring or foolish enough to turn its pages. And perhaps, if you linger on this story too long, if you repeat its name, if you stare too deeply into its shadow, you might feel its presence too. After all, some doors, once opened, never fully close. If you liked this video, please give us a like, leave a comment behind, and don't forget to subscribe, since we try to discover the truth behind. See you next time. Bye bye.